PTE Help. Listening Module. Practice Test 2. Fill in the blanks. Item number 1.
They have games where one was like wrestling. They have a lot of body contact games where they would wrestle on the ground, or you had to hold up your leg a certain way for how many minutes. Just really games that had to deal with strength and endurance is what I would say. And then they also played a lot of games using dice and where you would win prizes. I think a lot of these things were designed for the long winter months, so they could stay indoors and still keep themselves entertained. And because in those days, in the past, they didn't have TV or the kind of entertainment internet which they do have there now. So they have a lot of games that they still try to play sometimes to keep them entertained. And music is a large part of their life too. A lot of people play different instruments and they square dance. They're really good dancers. They can dance all night. So that was fun as well.
PTE Help. Listening Module. Practice Test 2. Fill in the blanks. Item number 2.
So tell me about how Rocky is a survivor.
So Rocky is a survivor for two reasons. One, because of her surviving in the bushes. And that was only when she was really a month old and we took her in. But she really earned her name last year, when she was about a year old. Rocky liked going out on my balcony, and I used to let her go out on my balcony without a leash or without supervision. And she decided that she wanted to see what was beyond the balcony. So she climbed up to the top of the balcony, which was like a concrete wall, and she jumped. When 5 minutes after I had noticed that she jumped, I went looking for her all around my apartment building. This was probably at 11 o'clock at night, and I couldn't find her anywhere. So I thought she had jumped to the roof next to my apartment building, and she was out hanging around with other cats. I was very worried, but it was dark. I couldn't find her, so I went to sleep and woke up the next morning at 5 o'clock, very worried mother, looking for my cat. And I noticed that she had fallen, actually, between my apartment building and the roof, the apartment building next to mine, and wasn't moving. So I picked her up and I brought her to the hospital, and it turned out that she'd actually broken her pelvis bone, which means that she could move her two front paws, but she could not move her back paws, so she basically couldn't walk at all.
PTE Help. Listening Module. Practice Test 2. Fill in the blanks. Item number 3.
Life happens, and it's interesting how similar it is to what we have down south in southern Canada and the other parts of Canada. Like they have TVs and similar housing, but you do have to be careful when using water because the infrastructure is a little different. The ground is frozen, so they don't have indoor plumbing. They have plumbing, but they don't have running water. The water has to be brought to each house almost every day, and sewage also has to be taken away. So you have to be careful how you use water. That's one part. Also, you don't get access to all the things that you want to buy sometimes. You go to the supermarket and maybe all the bread is gone or the milk hasn't been flowed in yet. So you have to be patient with that as well. and you don't get the same variety of products as you would get in larger places. So, yeah. And then as you get more and more into the winter months, it gets darker earlier. So maybe around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's already dark outside. And by the time you go to work in the mornings too, when you're going around 7, 8 o'clock, it's dark outside. So you're like, it's dark a lot